Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about Lesson 2, Kidney Structure, in our new excretory system unit. So today's agenda is going to be first checking your answers to yesterday's excretion overview homework, which is attached below. And then we're going to jump into the notes for today. So you're going to be using this video that you're listening to right now, the videos that are embedded within the slides, and the teacher PowerPoint slide to get your notes for Lesson 2. And then lastly, you're going to pick label kidney practice or the kidney structure coloring to complete for homework. So based off of the information that we're going to be talking about today, you're going to be able to pick between these two documents to do for homework and to do for practice in labeling the kidney. Therefore, let's get right on into it. We're going to be talking about Lesson 2, Kidney Structure. So yesterday's lesson, we talked a little bit about the different types of excretions that are produced by different organisms. We also talked about specific systems based on different organisms. We talked about how, remember that insects have this Malpighian tubule that helps them out, that kind of acts like the kidneys. And today we're going to be talking about the structures that help organisms like us humans, how this structure helps us with excreting the wastes that we need to get rid of from our body. So today's going to be about the kidney and what our kidneys do in our body to help clean out the toxins that could be found in the blood and therefore create urine or nitrogenous waste and therefore excrete it. So let's get right on into it. We have this video that is embedded in the slides. I'm going to ask you to come back to this video after we go through the slides that we have here. It's going to be a nice overview to make sure that you're fully understanding and fully retaining the information that we're about to go through for the kidney. So come back to this video after you go through this one. So today, like we've been talking about, we're going to discuss the human kidney and we're going to be looking at the different parts of the kidney and what exactly they do. So what exactly is happening? How are they helping and playing a role in the excretory system? So as you may already know, we normally have two kidneys. We have a left and a right kidney, as you can see here in the picture. So as we go through the kidney today, we're only going to be taking a look at one, but we have two of them and they're pretty much doing the same thing. So we're first going to go through and in our note slide, we're going to just go through and label and annotate the parts of the kidney and then go through and see how exactly they're all working together to help with the excretion. So if you go to lesson 2 in your notes, you have a nice picture of a kidney there. And we're first just going to go through these slides to help us label and annotate. So we're first going to take a look at the artery, the vein, and the ureter. So blood supply from the renal artery is going to be a branch off of the aorta. So there's going to be blood supply to the kidney. And you can think that, okay, this blood is now coming from the heart, so it's oxygenated. So you can see here the red is coming in and bringing oxygenated blood into the kidney. So this would be your renal artery. So if you take a look at your picture, it would be the vessel that is on top of the other vessel, and which was red because we have oxygen coming in. The renal vein is going to return filtered blood to the vena cava. So now you can think, okay, we've dropped off oxygen and the nutrients that we need in the kidney, and now we're going to bring that blood that's now come into the kidney out and back up towards the heart, back up into the vena cava, if you could remember from our previous unit. So here we have the renal vein. In your picture, it's the vessel that is a little bit bigger and kind of looks like it's underneath the renal artery. And the ureter is going to be transporting urine from the renal pelvis to the bladder. So right here, this yellow is our ureter, okay? And our renal pelvis is going to be the space within here right before it goes into the ureter. So hopefully you've been able to now annotate those 4 things and gave a little description for each of them. So now let's dive a little bit deeper into the other aspects of the kidney that are going to play a role in excretion. So we have a couple other things that we're going to be annotating and labeling based off of this slide. So let's start off with, let's say, the medulla. So here we have the medulla, and the medulla is going to be where we are going to be reabsorbing a lot of water. And this is the space that is going to be right before the cortex. In your picture, the medulla is going to be, it kind of looks like fins coming out from the center. So those fin-like structures are going to be the medulla in your picture. So that's the medulla. Now let's take a look at the cortex. So the cortex here is going to be where we're going to do ultrafiltration. So a lot of filtration is going to happen in the cortex. And it is selective reabsorption of blood contents. So in your picture, the cortex would be that outermost layer that also has those blood vessels projecting or into it. So that's going to be the outer layer in your picture, the one that you can see here as well. So we've also already talked about the ureter. That's going to be bringing urine to the bladder. We've already talked about that. We've already talked about the renal vein and how we're going to be bringing blood now out of the kidney. The renal artery is bringing blood to the kidney. And remember, arteries away from the heart. So you can think arteries going away from the heart to the kidney. And then last but not least, right in here, we have the pelvis. And the pelvis is going to be called the collecting ducts, and it's going to deliver urine to the pelvis to be passed on to the ureter. In your picture, we've already taken a look at it. It is going to be that center section that is connected to the ureter. It was that right here. It was this yellow part that's going into the ureter would be your pelvis. So I believe those are all of the structures that are on the top of your notes packet. And there we have it, all the different structures of the kidney and what exactly they are doing. So they're all going to be playing a role in reabsorbing water, excreting different waste products, and being able to purify or take out the toxins that need to be taken out from the blood. So moving forward, we're going to take a look at a couple of things that are happening in the kidney. So first off, we have osmoregulation, which we've already talked about before in our previous lesson. So osmoregulation, again, we can think, okay, we're regulating the osmolarity. It's going to osmoregulation is the active regulation of osmolarity of blood to maintain homeostasis. That's the big goal here. The kidney keeps the amount of solutes and water in the blood balanced, and that's what we need, that's what we want to be able to survive. And now excretion, the kidney is also going to help us with this. So excretion is the removal of metabolic waste products from the body. The kidney removes urea made in the liver from the blood. So it's taking out this waste product or this nitrogenous waste product and going to be able to excrete it as urine through the ureter. So taking a look more in depthly, just taking a look at what the blood contents are coming into the kidney and going out of the kidney. So here are a couple of things in both of what's going on with the blood. So again, remember that kidneys function to remove waste and in osmoregulation of the blood. So the blood entering the kidney will be different than the blood that leaves the kidney because we're doing a lot of things here to the blood. We're reabsorbing things, we're taking things out of the blood, putting stuff back in. So here's kind of the general overview of what's going on. So as blood enters the kidney, we've already talked about how there's going to be more oxygen because it's coming straight from the heart, it's coming straight from the lungs. We're also going to have some more water, obviously less carbon dioxide. We have glucose, salt ions, but also urea and toxins are going to be coming along too. And then also, of course, just within the blood itself, we're going to have some plasma proteins and blood cells or red blood cells coming in. Once we've come into the kidney and it does what it has to do to the blood, now the blood leaving is going to have less water because we're going to be reabsorbing the water, less oxygen because we've dropped off oxygen, more carbon dioxide now, slightly less glucose, some is going to be used up by the kidneys, and then in addition, just like the blood that came in, there's also going to be some salt ions, plasma proteins, and red blood cells. But in this process, as the blood is moving through the kidney, we're also going to take out excess water, toxins, and urea to excrete it out of the body. So a big thing that is happening within the kidney is going to be the nephron. The nephron is playing a huge role within the kidney to help with this reabsorption of water and getting rid of toxins and really helping with the excretory system in general. So now I'm going to ask you to flip your page of your notes packet and go to the picture on the next page that has that beautiful picture of a nephron in it. And we're going to now take a look at it and dissect it and label and annotate. So the nephron in general is the functional unit of the kidney. There are around 1 million in each kidney. So there's a lot of these. They're very small, right on in the kidney. So as you look at this, we have two different kind of like tubes you can think going on here. We have this red tube coming in. That's going to be our circulatory system. So those are going to be our blood vessels that you can see in the picture that you have of your kidney. Now, these tubules are going to be the tubules that are going to be helping with osmoregulation, going to help with reabsorbing water or absorbing toxins. So when you think or when you look at this image, you can think of it as a magnification if you were like diving into the kidney. So this part of the nephron is in the medulla. And then it also kind of leaks out into the cortex. So let's say you were taking a look at a picture of a kidney. You can think that it's going to be stretching out into the cortex from the medulla. So it's kind of going to be connecting the two. We're going to be in the two, and that's where the nephrons are going to be within the kidney, right along this membrane, dealing with these two parts and the blood vessels that are running through. So let's take a look. What exactly is the nephron going to be doing? So we'll go through and just kind of take a look at what exactly is going on. So as we come through, we first have this renal capsule or the glomerulus. And here is where we're going to first have the delivering of blood, and it's going to come to a dead end here where a lot of filtration is going to occur. So you can see here how it says ultrafiltration. A lot of the filtration is going to happen right in here where the blood vessels come in and are bringing blood to this section. As we move down, we have these nice tubes kind of all together here, and that is going to be our proximal convoluted tubule. This is where there's going to be selective reabsorption occurring in the tubes. So we're going to have water and solutes being selectively reabsorbed in this section. As we move down the tubule, we're going to go into the descending portion of the loop of Henle. And you can also see in your picture that we have this loop here that is also playing a role. So the loop of Henle, as we're coming through here, is going to deal a lot with osmoregulation. Now, the descending is going to help a lot with reabsorbing water, and the ascending is going to help a lot with reabsorbing salts, so sodium and chloride. So here we have the loop of Henle. As we move through here, we also have some other tubules coming on over here too, and these are going to be the distal convoluted tubules, and these are going to allow secretion of toxins into the urine. So here is where we're going to have the blood releasing toxins, and the tubules are going to pick it up to allow it to now come through into the collecting duct. And this collecting duct is going to allow us to deliver urine to the renal pelvis. And remember, the renal pelvis is the thing that connects to the ureter in the kidney itself. So the nephron plays a huge role in the kidney. There are a bunch in there, and this is what is helping us be able to reabsorb and take a look at the different toxins that are within the blood, help with secreting the toxins that are in the blood, allowing things to be reabsorbed into the blood. So the nephron plays a huge role in the excretory system in general. So in your notes, it says that you need to be able to draw the kidney and nephron, and there's a space below to practice the drawing of the nephron. So I'm going to ask you right now to take a look at this, using this, draw yourself your own nephron and see if you're understanding the different parts of the nephron itself, and understanding that there's also the circulatory system or blood vessels running through it to allow there to be an exchange between the blood, either with water, toxins, salts, solutes. So here again, we have the beautiful nephron. So next up, we'll be going into more in depthly the kidney process. But before we do that, we're now going to head on over to the homework for today. So the homework again is going to be one of these two. So you can either pick the coloring of the kidney if you're in the mood to color, or you can pick the labeling of the structure of the kidney based on our notes today. And remember, please do not forget to also watch this video at the start of lesson 2. Where is it? There we go. At the start of lesson 2, if you're not understanding or maybe need a little refresher on what exactly the kidney and the nephron do of what we've talked about today, you can go in here, watch this 4-minute video that does a nice, brief, general overview of what exactly is going on in the kidney and in the nephrons, particularly within the kidney's medulla and cortex. I hope this helps. I hope you went through and are now more familiar with the kidney and the nephron. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me either through email or Google Hangout, and have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon.